it's Sacrius.
Alright, Guardians, let's talk about one of my favorite guns in this entire game, the Thorn. I love the way this gun looks, the way it sounds. Just listen to this metallic shot. It puts out these amazing looking little like dagger style bolts sticking to everything. Kill something, collect these little remnants. Lights up, and it looks like it's got some kind of acid metal thing. It's pretty freaking evil and fantastic looking. Now, it gets poo-pooed a lot, which is kind of ridiculous, because I think it's fantastic what they've done with it. In Destiny 1, it came out, it had like 6 shots in the magazine, and the big thing was that the final shot did more damage, like 110 on that final bullet, and the burn wasn't so great. But they've made some adjustments now, because they brought it up to where it was 9 shots and buffed it up back in Destiny 1, which became a problem. It was too strong, and it was all you would see in Crucible ever, and everyone was using it constantly, and that became a problem because the meta just becomes the one thing and the game gets boring. So now they've made it a little more difficult to control. That's one of the things that people don't like about it, is the recoil is up and to the right a little bit, and it's more difficult to hang on to, and getting it back on target each shot. Generally if someone has a Luna's Howl or Not Forgotten or something like that, they're not going to have a problem fighting a Thorn, usually. I've been doing okay against teams like that, but I've been playing with this gun for like, I don't know, 5 years or something like that. So, I mean, not constantly through that entire time, but off and on, I always fall back to it because it is one of my favorites. Now, this is one of the great things. The Mark of the Devourer rounds pierce targets and deal damage over time. Kills this weapon, leave behind remnants. That was those little green balls that float back. They track over a couple meters, 2, 3, maybe 4. I don't think it's quite that far. But if you kill somebody and you don't want to run out to grab it, and you can just kind of inch yourself close to it, it'll come out, it'll buff you up, and then you can come out and start laying waste to people. I am going to do a little Crucible in a moment. Corkscrew rifling, accurized rounds, it's all really good. The Soul Devourer is the absorbing remnant, strengthens the Mark of the Devourer, and partially refills the magazine. It basically triples the damage of the burn. And right now hand cannons have received somewhat of a nerf, so that they are effective only to around 28 meters, but having the burn that this one causes, which this one just thralls, yeah, you can see a little bit. Burned him a touch. See, this guy's a yellow bar, so we'll get a remnant off this guy. And look what it does, a single shot to the head on a yellow bar or an orange bar. So 2 shots, he's totally done. Without it, I think, yeah, that's enough, remnant or no. But one of the great things about fighting enemies in PvE situations is, as long as you're collecting remnants, it's giving you your ammo back. Every time you pick one up, it gives you 4 ammo, and it's not from your reserves, it's just ammo. So if you're fighting through like a big thing where there's continuous ads coming in, you can sit there, keep killing these smaller guys, have them feeding your remnants, and DPS much larger foes. And the remnant will hang there in space for quite a while. Let's see if this one will run out. It's chasing me. There it goes. So you can see how far that will chase you down. So if you're moving through an area, and you're just killing enemies, the remnants are supplying you with ammo. That allows you to DPS these guys while remnants are floating up behind, keeping you loaded. You'll have no problem fighting yellow bars. And while that damage is continuing to happen, something much larger, say like this ogre here, he continues to burn, switch to a rocket, and just the damage is going. It's even better if you have one like that has a auto holster. So if you fortunate enough to have been able to grind and get yourself a Wendigo or something which has auto loading holster, you will be a monster. That's what this one is, an evil weapon. And in Crucible, since it almost triples the burn rate, it effectively stretches out this weapon's range a great deal further than most other hand cannons, like the ones that are better would probably be spare rations with like all the masterworks or range and accurized rounds and all that good stuff would have to be on it. But yeah, you can see the recoil is a little bit odd, difficult to keep it on target, but it's not that bad. You can get used to it, and it is a beast. In Crucible, it ticks 4 times for 2 damage, which is 8 extra damage, and you'll see that later. And when you get the buff, it ticks for 7, which is 28 damage from the burn. So you hit somewhere 68 to the head, plus 28, that's, what, 86? 96 damage? So you can 2-tap Guardians potentially if they're low enough resilience. It's freaking fantastic. Anyways, I'm going to go into Crucible and I will see you in a moment. Alright, I'm going into a survival match, taking the Thorn, and I do not plan on taking it out of my hands. So other than supers and grenades, I'll play only using Thorn. And I can show you some of its capabilities, because it's pretty damn fantastic. Here we go. So it's burning.
3 lives left.
You can see like it forces people away. You can see that little numbers ticking behind the walls, you know, when they're coming back. They try to challenge you. There's a remnant. Boom. He's done. He's done.
No lives left.
Got him.
For
See
your
that
enemy.
remnant burn?
Destroy
7 tick.
them.
Ooh. Just gonna get to the remnant. Got it.
1 foe remains.
Where's the
1
last
minute
guy
left.
at?
The
I'm not gonna
enemy
get him
is
with
out
the
of second chances.
Soul Devourer active, but you can see the kind of damage it does. It's pretty amazing.
Fire team that fights together.
Oh, they took that
stays
kill, but
together.
that's fine. You got to see it, ticking for 7. That poor guy was trying to run off, and it just melted him. Burned him right down.
Round start. The lead is yours.
And you can see it, I'm not quite perfect with it or anything like that. Even with all of my training working with it, it sounds like one of them might have gone AFK, or they're frustrated with one of the other guys.
Your legend grows.
Got my
3
juice,
lives left.
6 seconds of damage. Showing themselves. Come on. And you can see that guy's Lunas are not forgotten. So he might be able to knock me out. Yes, that is. Oh, I got him. I got him. Come on. Oh, he did the dodge.
Only 1 minute left.
Oh, he had a rift. That's what he did. He had a rift
No
up
more
and
lives
saved
on your
himself from
side.
burning. I suppose that's one of the downsides. But it does keep their shield from coming back as long as they're being DPS'd by that tick. Sadly, they did lose a guy, so it's sad for them.
You've got 30 seconds. You're
Shoot.
knocked out. Neither team has lives
Ace of
left.
Spades.
Show no mercy.
See, that's like one of the highest ranging hand cannons in this game right now. And
One opponent
actually, I've heard
standing.
with the burn, I haven't really done tests myself, but with the burn from the Thorn,
10 seconds.
it can 3-tap further than the Ace of Spades even. But it's not as easy to handle. And having to collect a remnant's not as easy
Tiebreaker
as
active.
just getting
The
a kill.
end is coming. Fight! You smashed your enemies to dust.
Because the Ace of Spades and Momentum Warrior rounds can do like 92 or something to the head. And then they have Firefly. There's so many
Round start.
perks to that
You're
gun.
ahead.
But I still just love the Thorn. I like the burning. Ooh.
3 lives left.
They had to double body me. Gave him so many opportunities. Oh, I guess the guy decided to Blade Barrage.
No lives left for your enemy.
Look at that. That's one of the other things too, is if you hit someone with a thorn a bunch of times, your teammates have ample opportunity to go and get the cleanup. And team shooting, especially in survival, is super important.
One minute left. The
So
enemy
keep us away
is
from
out
them.
of second chances. Neither team has lives left. Show no mercy.
Rocket. They're splitting up.
One opponent standing.
Alright.
30 seconds. Both teams out of reserve. End it.
teammates
All
got 'em.
opponents
But for
defeated.
150, it feels really smooth. Almost as good as a 180, I think. I don't know how. It just, like, the trigger pull feels pretty
You have
natural.
match point. Finish them.
Alright, final round. Fair round. Don't want to challenge, let's go. Damn, my teammates are too good. I'm trying to do a review on the Thorn here, guys, and you're just shredding. I don't think they're not even active anymore. They gave up. It's rough.
3 lives
Missing a
left.
guy. Alright, well that was my review of the Thorn. Thanks
Enemy
for
team
watching.
has no reserves left.